So is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh collection worth it? Stay tuned and find out. So today we're going to be doing a first impressions on the entire Pretty Fresh collection from ColourPop. Now this collection is fully infused with hyaluronic acid and coconut water, and it's basically to give you a no makeup look. So here we have the Pretty Fresh Prime and Set Kit, and this kit includes the blending sponge, which is something brand new for ColourPop. They never had a blending sponge before, so that's exciting to try out. It also includes the hyaluronic acid primer, which obviously we're going to try out in this first impressions as well. And third but not least, the hyaluronic acid setting mist. Right here I also have the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Medium N11. And N stands for neutral. I like more of a neutral toned foundations or tinted moisturizers. That's just a preference of mine. I kind of like going through the neutral route. This is going to be the star of the show and what I'm going to be doing the first impressions on today. So this entire collection is infused with hyaluronic acid, and for those of you guys who don't know what hyaluronic acid is, it's basically known to hydrate and support healthy looking skin. So if your skin is missing some moisture, hyaluronic acid will bring back the moisture to your skin. It's also infused with coconut water, which is known to support hydration and skin softness. So if you have a lot of texture in your skin, it's going to soften your texture in your skin as well. All of these products today are dermatologist tested, gluten-free, paraben-free, and vegan as well, for those of you guys out there who are vegans. I personally feel great about this being dermatologist tested because that's a big problem nowadays with foundations and anything skin related. They can't put a product out if it's not dermatologist tested. If it's going on your face, it has to be tested. So we're gonna go right in with the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Primer. Now I did cleanse my skin and moisturize my skin before starting, and we're just gonna go right in with the primer. Now it is tinted peach. Has a peach tint to it. It has no scent whatsoever, which is great because I don't really like scented items on my face. That's just a preference. I lied. It does have a scent. It kind of smells a bit peachy. We're going to make sure that our entire face is primed. Now some people swear by not wearing any primer at all, and I like to wear primers because I feel like the primer acts as a skin barrier between your skin and the foundation, and it won't let your foundation sink into your pores. So far, it does not feel tacky at all. It sinks in really fast. It does feel moisturizing, so if that's something that you guys are looking for, this would be a great primer to try out. I think it's great so far, but we shall see. Next, we're gonna go in with the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Medium 11N, so 11 neutral, and we're gonna be applying it with the ColourPop sponge as well. Now this sponge, I wet it already, so it did grow in size, and it's just obviously a peach color, and it has a flat side and then a rounded side as well. It kind of reminds me of the Real Technique sponge and also of one of the Morphe ones, which is my holy grail so far. But we'll see how this sponge works out. We're gonna shake it so that the product diffuses properly. Now this hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer does have a pump, and it's a squeezy tube as well. This is one of my favorite packagings for everything that it comes to foundations or tinted moisturizers. I love a squeezy tube. It's very easy for travel as well. You can just throw it in your bag, and it's very easy for application as well. Now the texture of this is not very runny. It's actually staying in place. It doesn't move. It's a little bit thick. It does have a faint coconut smell, but because it is infused with coconut water, it makes sense. I'm just going to dot it on my face, and I'm going to blend it in with the sponge. Once again. the Pretty Fresh blending sponge. So right off the bat, first impressions, very, very light coverage. You can barely see it. So I'm probably going to need about 2 or 3 coats of this to be able to get it to at least a medium coverage. Now I know a tinted moisturizer is supposed to look like your skin, so it's not supposed to give you full coverage. However, if I'm going to be wearing anything on my face, it needs to have at least a little bit of coverage so it can cover all of these spots that I have on my face. I'm going to go in with another coat of this and see if it's buildable and it builds up. Now, first impressions on the sponge, it feels great. Feels very soft, very bouncy, not too dense. I don't like dense sponges, so this is really good so far. I'm loving the density of this sponge. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. It's definitely buildable. It's giving a little bit more coverage now. I can still see all of my demarcation marks on my face, but it's not as sheer as it was before. Am I loving it? Not really. It's not something that I will walk out the house with. I'm going to add another coat as well and keep building it up until I get it to the perfect coverage for me. Yeah. So this is the one side with the hyaluronic acid primer and the tinted moisturizer, 2 coats right now, and this is the side with absolutely nothing but the primer on. You can clearly see that there's some coverage on this side, and this side you can pretty much see all of my redness, and the redness on this side, which is where I have the tinted moisturizer, it's definitely calmed down and you can barely see any redness. So it does cover up your redness, it's just not strong enough to cover every single spot on your face. I'm going to continue applying the tinted moisturizer to the other side of my face now. This is one coat on the other side of my face. It does have made my redness disappear, which is great for a tinted moisturizer. However, again, I still see most of the marks on my face because it's a pretty sheer coverage. This is something that if I want to cover my redness, I would definitely wear very quickly on my face just to run out and do some errands if I don't want my face to look extremely red, because it does calm down my redness and it does cover that. However, again, it's very sheer and it's not something that I'm used to wearing. I like more of a medium to full coverage foundations because I like my face to be absolutely flawless. This is not going to give you that. So if that's not something that you're interested in, I would definitely pass on this because it's not going to give you the coverage that you desire. Okay, so right now I have applied the tinted moisturizer all over my face. 2 coats of tinted moisturizer on each side of my face as well. And this is the coverage that I have gotten to with the 2 coats, and obviously using the corresponding sponge. If you guys want to use a brush, it might give you a fuller coverage or a little bit more coverage because brushes tend to do that. However, I do not like to apply any of my foundations with brushes. It's just a personal preference. I just rather use a blending sponge. And like I said, I'm loving this sponge, so there's no way that I would apply it with anything else. Right now, I'm not hating it, because again, it did cover my red spots and my redness on all over my face. I can still see the demarcations and obviously the pimple spots and marks that I have on my face, which is not bad. It's definitely a sheer coverage. It does not feel heavy on the skin, which is great. I do have oily skin, and so far I like the way it looks. But again, I just applied it, so I'm going to give it a little bit more time to see if my oils come through and how that's going to affect the actual tinted moisturizer. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. So I think I'm going to go finish my face off of camera and then see what the final product looks like once I have everything else as well. I'm actually going to set this down with the setting powder as well, just because again I have oily skin and I literally have to set everything that I put on my face, otherwise I'm going to be an oil slick. And we're back with the full face on. I just pretty much just finished my entire makeup, then my eye look, just a very simple look. I use most of the ColourPop products as well on my eyes. I use the Pretty Please palette, and I use the I Need Space blush as well from ColourPop. So a few ColourPop items also thrown in here because I love them. So I did set the tinted moisturizer down with powder, and obviously my face is very matte right now because of all the powder. But the next product that we're going to be testing out right now will be the Hyaluronic Acid Pretty Fresh Setting Spray. Now obviously this is from ColourPop, and it's a hyaluronic acid setting mist, and it's basically going to add hydration into your skin, which is perfect right now because I have so much powder on my face and I want to make sure that everything blends seamlessly and all the powders set down. So this mist is going to help me achieve just that. So we're just going to try it out. I'm going to spray it to the side first, and then we're just going to go straight on the face. Ooh, wait, where does it go? Okay, so right off the bat, I do not like the nozzle on the setting spray. It's literally squirts everywhere and it barely hits your face. So you really have to get close for it to actually hit your face. That should be enough. It does have the same coconut scent that every other product has because again it is infused with coconut water, which I don't mind. I actually like that kind of scent, which is it's nice and it's refreshing as well, and it reminds me of like summer vacation. And now that we're going into the fall, it's actually perfect to just feel like you're still holding on to that summer glow. Now that I have the setting mist on, I pretty much don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. I mean, it was really rough putting the rest of my makeup on. Like, I lost coverage really quickly right here on my nose. It's sinking into my fine lines and my smile lines right in here. I can still see my entire pores. You can still see all of my pores and my texture over here as well. That is definitely the primer's job, so it's not a primer that's going to cover up your pores or fill in your pores, so you will need a pore minimizing primer for that. I have some frown lines on my forehead as well. So like I said, it's definitely not a holy grail product for me. I don't hate it, but I also am not completely in love with it. I'm still a bit mattified even with the setting mist on, which is pretty good. It's a good sign for those of us with oily skin because obviously it's not making me look too dewy. I still look pretty matte even though I did spray the setting spray on myself. So I like it. I'm interested to see how this will last for a longer period of time. But first impressions, I don't hate it. It's something that I wouldn't use on a daily because of the coverage. I did build up some more coverage while I was putting the rest of my makeup because I did use the Coty Airspun translucent setting powder, and that has extra coverage to it. So that's pretty much something that helped me out with the coverage as well as the concealer. So I did have some concealer under my eyes and in the perimeters of my face, and I use the Fenty Beauty concealer for that. It's not something that I would run out and buy immediately and scream about because it's not something that I will wear every day. I can definitely see myself wearing this again And again, I'm interested to see how it will last throughout the day because of the fact that I have oily skin. So for you guys with oily skin out there, you can still try this product out. I know there was a lot of concerns because of Kathleen Lights and what she said in her video, and she initially said that if you had oily skin to run away from this and not even try it out. I say no, do not listen to that. If you have oily skin, you can still try out this product. So the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Prime and Set Kit, which brings the sponge, the primer, and the hyaluronic acid setting spray, it's all for $25 together. If you're guys buying the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Primer, this will cost you $12 US by itself. The Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist is also $12 US. The ColourPop brand new blending sponge, it's $7 US. Definitely worth the money. The Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Infused Tinted Moisturizer, it's $14 US. The tinted moisturizer comes in fair, light, medium, medium dark, dark, and deep dark. And in each category, it has neutral and warm tones for a total of 24 shades. So overall, what do I think of the entire collection? I do give it my stamp of approval. I think you guys should definitely check this collection out. Even if you're oily skin types, try it out anyway. I suggest that you guys do not listen to anyone that says that because you're an oily skin type you cannot use products that are infused with hyaluronic acid, because as an oily skin type person, our skin does need hydration, and the more hydration you give it, the less oily it's going to get. So is the Pretty Fresh ColourPop collection worth it? I believe so. Rewind. We're gonna be testing out and not wear testing. I'm not wear testing anything. Now I did clean and moisturize my face. What the fuck? It's basically known to hydrate and support healthy and... So today we're gonna be doing the first... Why did I stop? So let's get right on it. What we have first is the Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer from the Pretty Fresh collection. And where's my mirror? Like, where am I going? What am I doing? Like, hello? How am I gonna apply this? I can't.